Are you seeking a better way to accelerate your sales, to scale your business, to live a life with no limits? Accelerate Sales Podcast features global experts who have cracked the code to recurring revenues with proven sales systems and get you on the fast track to scaling. Now let's accelerate your sales with today's episode.
Hello to the Accelerate Sales Solo podcast, episode number 386. Today's topic is how to structure an investment call to close more sales. And when I mean investment call, I mean when a potential client is looking for your services, not with your financial advisor or planner. And you're going to learn three key things. One is, what is an investment call and when is it sequenced? The second is how to structure it to close more sales. And the third is how to see if yours is up to scratch, and I've got a great offer at the end for you. So if it's your first time, welcome. If you love what you hear, please subscribe. If you're a regular, thanks for your support. Appreciate every review that I get. Please check out past shows on your favorite platform. Just search Accelerate Sales, and don't forget those amazing interview shows. Before we start, I would like to talk to you about our free Slack community for cloud consultants. It is a safe place where questions are asked and answered by like-minded peers. We have cloud consultants across multiple platforms, including Salesforce, HubSpot, ClickUp, Zoho, Google, Microsoft, just to name a few. If you want to learn from peers to scale your business faster, this may be for you. Go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/CCC to join for free. Now, I sound a bit nasally. I've got a cold. I don't have COVID, so everything's good. But if I sound a little different today, that's why. So what is an investment call? Well, there are two schools of thoughts when it comes to sales call. One camp is all in one, when it happens all at once, and the second is two calls. I fall into the second bucket. I first like to diagnose, then in the second call, prescribe. I find the potential clients that I've had the most trouble with are the ones that say yes too quickly, right? They rush into it, then they go talk to their significant other, someone else, and it just doesn't seem right. I really want them to think about it and be sure that we're the right solution together before they do. And I go into more detail of splitting two calls and the reasons why at episode 189, which was a whopping 197 episodes ago. So you can find that at Accelerate Sales. The investment call is when the client says yes or no, right? So you can send the proposal beforehand, but I like to send it after. I want to have all the facts in the prospective client's exact words in the proposal. And I use the software called betterproposals.io, but I've also used PandaDocs in the past. So it's a template, so it doesn't take me a lot of time to insert the information, and often my team insert that, but I really want that custom data to be in there. Before I continue with the actual structure itself, I'd like to talk to you about SendSpark.com. If you want to send personalized videos at scale, it is amazing. It also has a GIF, so you can wave, or a GIF, whatever you are. You can wave, and that's inserted, and it also can insert their name. There's a whole lot of amazing things that it can do. It's also great for tracking your video calls as well, and most importantly, when people have opened it, so you can follow up. But why not check it out for yourself? Just go to sendspark.com/accelerate sales, and you get a free 6 months. That's right, a free 6 months if you use that link. So how to structure the investment call. Best to have all stakeholders in the room, or in the Zoom room these days normally, right? But it's not always possible. So I always record it and make sure that I send them the deck and the proposal afterwards. And I'm really compiling all my 18 years at Coca-Cola, where we had so much sales training, and also my 11 years of running a business, including 5 of those running a tech consulting business. Now, the first thing is it's got to suit your style and your business, right? So what I'm going to give you is just a guide only, and then from there you can structure it. So the first thing I always do is get them to reflect on the call. It's the first question I ask them. So what was your biggest takeouts? What are your biggest questions? What have you done since then? Who have you spoken to? What other options have you thought of? Just really get them to reflect on the call. Then I go through the qualitative results that they want to achieve. And I just have a from to table, and we fill it out together. Because I find that often you can, get lost and you don't really structure the proposal, and it's hard to measure the results. So a couple of examples, I'll have their revenue, their gross margin, their EBIT margin, cash in bank, the wages, retained profit, hours a week that they want to work, how many clients in their team. So I go from to, and it's normally over a 12-month period. And then I go into some of the qualitative ones. Now, the qualitative ones are normally something to do with the system they're trying to create. So often what I do is help people set up their sales system. So I'll talk about that. They may want to bring in a CEO or a COO or a president or something to run the business. We'd talk about that. They may want to improve their recruitment process. They might want to have a LinkedIn outreach campaign. So whatever the qualitative ones, so it's not 100% measurable, but it's the things, if you think about it, it's the things that are going to be left in their business or their toolkit when you stop working together. So we go about that. The next is, how do we work? So I like to actually show them exactly how we're going to work, not to overpower them, but to show them just how structured it is, i.e. structured in a way that it makes it easy for them to know exactly what to do and when to do it. Because I often talk about my experiences and how they're not always that way. Now, if you're selling, this is really for consulting services on top of your software, right? So if you're selling your software, it'll be a little different. And what I do is have a master file. So I show them exactly what they get. I have a scorecard for them. I have where the recordings are going to be, everything. So they're 100% comfortable. And then I just, ask them to ask me some questions about it and give that back. So that's what I do. So far we've gone through reflection on the call, the quantitative measures, the qualitative measures, and how does it work. Then I go and have a look at the investment. And I like to give them 3 options. Now, I won't go bore you in a lot of detail that I did at Coca-Cola with McDonald's menus and why they've got 3 cups, etc. But I always believe through the research I did back then, but my own experience, to give them 3 options, right? And typically, you can structure it from highest to lowest, lowest to highest. I normally go highest to lowest, and most times I'll pick the middle one, just as an FYI. And then what I want to do is demonstrate the return on investment. Now, that's not always easy to do, but you have got the quantitative objectives there, right? But what I always try to do is say, hey, I'm going to at least pick up one client. So I work out their average deal size, and I'm going to pick up one client in the first 3 months to recover the cost of the program alone, and then talk about what I do a sensitivity. So, what's the best case, what's the middle case, and what's the worst case. So they get a bit of a range there. And then finally, I show them exactly what the proposal is going to look like, not in detail, but just what they'll receive. And then we do some Q&A. So that's why I have the investment call. Now, that typically goes for about 45 minutes. And as I said, it's separate to the sales call. So just once again, I'll wrap them quickly up. Reflection on the call, quantitative, then qualitative measures, how you work together, the investment, and I give 3 options: return on investment, the proposal, and then Q&A. So 3 actions from today. One is test 2 calls. If you're only doing one, just test 2 calls, see what it works like. The second is apply the structure to your business. And the third is contact me at paulhigginsmentoring.com, and I'm glad to review your deck. And also, we may even do a role play together. You can get all the links in the show notes at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast episode 386, or on the app that you're listening to now. I always recommend the Pocket Cast app. It's great. Please follow me on LinkedIn. If you know someone interested in closing more sales, please share this with them. They'll think you're an absolute rock star and love you for that. And also, if you are a cloud consultant or know one, just send them to that great community. You can go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/CCC. Now, I'm going to be moving to bi-weekly solo podcast, so every second week. And what I'm going to be doing is doing more YouTube videos. So if you haven't signed up to my YouTube channel, just go and search at Paul Higgins Mentoring. You'll see it there on YouTube. Finally, please take action to accelerate your sales.
I'm fired up after today's episode. What about you? But hey, before you go, learning is just one piece of the puzzle. Now it's time to put today's strategy into action. Head over now to today's show page at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast and share how you'll put it into action. Be sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform and subscribe, rate, and review the show. Tell me what your favorite episode is. And don't wait 1 minute more to gain access to your pulse check at paulhigginsmentoring.com. This could be the difference between struggling to get more leads and making this next quarter your best one yet.